What's going on, everybody? Mr. Octagonal here, and today we have hit the final episode of the 12 days of MyLeague. This is the 12th day, meaning it is Christmas Day. I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas. I hope that Santa got you the gifts you want, and that you're spending time with family and friends. If you don't celebrate Christmas, happy holidays, happy Wednesday. Today is Hump Day, after all. So, last episode, I think the story of last episode was abolishing the salary cap. We just wanted to do something fun for the finish, and we ended up signing DeAndre Ayton and Luka Doncic in free agency. We're just trying to have fun to finish this off. This team is already OP as it is, so it doesn't really change a whole lot. And at the New Year's mark, we are 32-2. We are slacking. The past 2 years, we've only lost one game each by New Year's, so we're slacking a little bit, but it's not the end of the world. So there's the Western Conference. Here's a look at the East. The Wizards are in first place, led by Imani Bates, the second coming of LeBron James, according to some scouts. And then you got the Bucks in last. This team has fallen flat on their face without Giannis, who signed with the Miami Heat this past offseason. We went after Giannis too, but he declined our contract. It is what it is. So for contract extensions, even though we're not going to have an offseason or anything, I just wanted to re-sign all of our guys. Wiseman, Bronny, LaMelo, Terrence Clark, they are sort of the core four of this team. And none of them would have been free agents anyway, but we just want to bring them back just because. So we have 5 All-Stars. Looking at Team Mikey, we have 3 starters, James Wiseman, LaMelo Ball, and Bronny James. And then off of the bench, we have Tariq Watson, who's the backup center. And then for Team Jerry, we have Travis Perry in the starting lineup. So that is 5 All-Stars, including our 6th man, which is pretty cool. That is also a record. Our previous record in All-Stars was 4. So here's a look at the Rising Stars game. Team USA beats Team World. We do not have any of our players in this game. And then in the All-Star game, Team Mikey beats Team Jerry pretty convincingly, as our guys all did pretty well. Travis Perry wasn't bad, even though his team lost by 30. Bronny, LaMelo, Tariq, and Wiseman all played pretty well. As Javon Miles of the Pacers averages like 40 points per game, he wins MVP. Daryl Lyons wins Rookie of the Year of the Jazz. Mikal Tyne, 6th Man of the Year for the Knicks. Defensive Player of the Year goes to our very own James Wiseman again. Deshaun Scott, I think that one win Most Improved. And then our coach, Jacob Underwood, wins Coach of the Year as we go 79-3. Here's a look at the All-NBA teams. Bol makes it over James Wiseman. Isn't that fitting? And our only All-NBA player is LaMelo, which is pretty sad. Wiseman and Melo are on the All-Defensive first team. Sincere Harris on the All-Defensive second team. But I'm disappointed we only got one All-NBA player. That's not right. Let's take a look at the stats. Bronny James led us in points per game, and all of the starters, their points per game got lower, which is fine. We won 79 games. I'm not really going to complain. Tariq Watson, he played better, and obviously adding DeAndre Ayton and Luka Doncic will do that to an offense. So in the first round, we're going to be playing the Utah Jazz, a team we have not seen too often in this series. And this is a decent team, but they're not that good. For a while, they had Anthony Edwards and Cole Anthony. They are both gone, however. And they do have Rodion Kurucs, who was on the team for the first 2.5 seasons of the series. They should be no problem, and we end up sweeping them. So on to round 2, we're going to be playing the Golden State Warriors, another team we have not seen too much in this series. They have Anthony Edwards, who is a superstar, a scoring machine, whether that's with the Jazz or the Warriors. They also have Theo Maledon, Michael Porter, Bruno Fernando, Sekou Doumbouya, who was with the team towards the middle of the series, so another one of our former players. We should beat these guys, but they're not a bad team. They could take a game. Just kidding. They won't. So now we got the Clippers. We've played these guys numerous times in the playoffs. You should know this team pretty well by now. I'd say they're probably the second best team in the league behind us. Got guys like Marvin Bagley, Paolo Banchero, Cole Anthony, who's been incredible with them. And we win in 5. So we're going to play the Houston Rockets, a team who I don't think we've played in the playoffs yet. And this team is actually really good. I'm not even going to lie. I'm surprised that we haven't seen these guys at all, because this is a really deep squad. And they're going to give us some trouble. Going to a 7th game, and we sneak away with the finals. Man, we were lucky. They took us to 7, which means we lost 3 games in that series. Yet the entire regular season, we only lost 3 games. Wow, we are lucky. LaMelo wins Finals MVP. So instead of an offseason, what I want to do here is I just want to look around the rest of the league, see how many players are still at their respective teams, see how the league has changed. First, here's a look at our squad. You should know us pretty well by now. And it's only fitting that we start with the Clippers. A team that's gone over a lot of turmoil. They won a championship year one. They only had Kawhi and PG for 2 years. And they've built a really, really good core up. Next up, we're going to be looking at Cole Anthony in specific because he's developed into an absolute monster. He won an MVP in his early Clipper years. And I just want to look at all of his awards, I guess. 5-time All-Star, 3-time first-team All-NBA, made the second team twice, third team once. Yeah, he's had quite the storied career up to this point. Look at the Memphis Grizzlies. These guys won 2 championships right before our 7-peat, which we're currently on, led by Ja Morant, who has averaged 29 and 11 throughout his 11-year career up to this point. He is a beast. He has won an MVP, 2-time NBA champion, 6-time All-Star, and he has developed into an absolute monster. And based on the way he's played in real life, who knows? Anything's possible. The sky's the limit for this kid. Rest of our team isn't bad. No one to really note, I guess. Next up, I believe we got the Atlanta Hawks, sorry. And the Hawks look remarkably similar. They still have Trae Young, they still have John Collins, they still have Cam Reddish, and they still have DeAndre Hunter, which is pretty crazy. Trae Young's made a bunch of All-Stars, John Collins signed a big contract, Cam Reddish just made the All-Star team. So now we got the Miami Heat, who just signed Giannis. This was his first year off of the Bucks. They also still have Bam Adebayo, by the way. A few other decent players, Zion Cruz among them. Next up, we got the Charlotte Hornets, and they were really good last year, but it looks like last year was sort of an anomaly. This team has changed a lot. Like, I don't remember them having Jamal Murray at all until just seeing this. After them, we got the Utah Jazz, and in the 2020 draft, we had the 1st and 4th picks, where we got Wiseman and LaMelo. Well, they had 2 and 3, where they drafted Cole Anthony, Anthony Edwards, who were both good, but they both left Utah. Now we got the Kings. We have not seen a lot of them in this series. They are led by a European forward named Urban Klazar. That's a fun name. Next up, the Knicks. They have Jaren Jackson. They had RJ Barrett for a while, who was a monster. Speaking of monsters, I'd like to introduce you to Chris Livingston, who is a scoring machine. Spent time with Atlanta, then a year with Minnesota, in which he averaged 34 a game, and is now with the Knicks. And this New York team has actually developed pretty well. RJ, as I said, has been great. Jaren Jackson was a big signing. Looking at the Lakers, they have fallen off pretty hard. They had Anthony Davis for a while. He's not on the team now, but he was on the team for most of the series, I guess up until this past season. They're led by guys like DeJounte Murray and Victor Oladipo. That's a scary defensive backcourt. The Orlando Magic, they were good for a while with Cade Cunningham. He is gone, but Jonathan Kuminga is actually really good. And they also had Aaron Gordon for a while. I think they might have just traded him this season. So I don't know how Magic fans feel about that. Looking at Dallas, they still have Kristaps. They've added Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Mo Bamba. They did lose Luka Doncic a few years ago. On to the Nets, they have Nikola Jokic. They had Doncic up until this past offseason when we stole him. They also have Ben Simmons, who was with the Sixers for most of this series. Also, Kevin Huerter. Look at the Nuggets. They have Ben Rosenborough, a player who we traded to them, by the way. Also got Isaiah Mobley. He's with the Charlotte Hornets in that MyLeague series. I'd recommend you check it out if you've not already. The Indiana Pacers, they signed Zion, who, yeah, you can imagine he's pretty darn good. They also had that Javon Miles kid who won MVP, and he has sort of come out of nowhere. I mean, he has dramatically improved every single season of his career, which is actually really cool. Didn't play as a rookie, and then he is, I think he won a most improved in there, which isn't really a surprise. They have AD. They also have Josh Hart, former Alaska Chill member. Looking at the New Orleans Pelicans, they stole Bol Bol from us. Well, not really. We traded him to the Bucks. Then he went to the Sixers. Now he's with the Pelicans, and he's actually been pretty good. We have played Bol Bol 4 times in the playoffs since we traded him, winning all 4 of those series, but good for him playing well, even not as a member of the Chill. And then they also have a Marcia, who we traded to them. And Marcia is a pretty good player as well. He's played better with them than us, which I guess is what happens when you leave a stacked team. Next up, the Detroit Pistons, my favorite team, led by Daryl Davis, Patrick Baldwin, Kobe White, Pascal Siakam at age 36. This is a good young core. Frank Kepnang, a player who our Alaska Chill drafted in the 2nd round many years ago. I forgot he existed. The Toronto Raptors, they have Devin Booker, Musa Cisse. They have Markelle Fultz, who was with Charlotte for a while. I think he was their best player. Houston Rockets, who just made the finals, led by Christian Jones, Evan Mobley, Isaiah Todd, R.J. Hampton, and Folly Dante. This is a good team. They also got some veterans like Caleb Martin, Karis LeVert, Landry Shamet. Looking at the Spurs, they have Cade Cunningham, who's an 88 overall, which is weird because he was like in the mid-90s with Orlando, and even though his numbers haven't really fallen off, I'm surprised his rating has. San Antonio also has Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, and Jason Tatum. So Brandon Ingram and Lonzo get to reunite once again, along with Jason Tatum. The Suns have Jalen Green, Kai Jones, and Jones is a weird player. He's made all NBA teams over James Wiseman a lot, but he's played for about like 5 or 6 different teams. He can't stay stable, which is kind of sad for him. They also have Anton Watson, former member of the Chill, along with Vlad Lukovsky, who was drafted twice. He was drafted by us in the second round a while back, and then last year he was a top 5 pick by the Suns. How he got drafted twice, 2K will 2K. The Oklahoma City Thunder, led by Mikey Williams, who is a high school freshman in real life. He put up 77 in a game, and he's doing that type of stuff in the NBA. He's been a scoring machine, 2-time MVP. They also have Victor Wembanyama, who we drafted in the late first round many seasons ago. And there's Derek Miller-Whitehead, a player I once traded down for. He was picked right before our selection, and it looks like he hasn't developed into anything too special. The Timberwolves, they are led by Jerry Easter, who was just picked a few years ago. But Jerry here looks like the future of the NBA. Timberwolves got themselves a superstar. Outside of that, no one else really notable. Next up, we have the Portland Trailblazers, who had Donovan Mitchell for a few years. They had James Harden on his retirement tour. And after that, they don't have too much. Actually, they do have a few veterans. Kyle Kuzma in there. There was another player who I couldn't see. The Warriors, they are led by Anthony Edwards, who I mentioned earlier is an absolute monster. Steph Curry and Klay Thompson both retired as members of the Warriors as well. And this Warriors team actually has a pretty bright future of some talented young players. I think they could be good if we kept this series going. And then the Washington Wizards, led by Imani Bates, who is an absolute beast. I don't know how the Pistons passed up on him in 2022. Which, if we're saying that in real life, I'm going to be a sad boy. Nearly 20,000 points already. Yeah, this kid is really good. They also have Karl Anthony Towns as well. They still have Bradley Beal, along with Josh Richardson, TJ Leaf, and Yusuf Nurkic. On to the 76ers, who kept their young core strong for a while. They have Rocco Proxine, another one of our former players. They also have Brian Antoine, who was with us for a while. They have a 36-year-old Joel Embiid, still on the Sixers. The Bucks had Giannis for a while, now they don't, and now they suck. They are led by Nickeil Alexander-Walker. The Chicago Bulls, their top player is Jalen Johnson, a player who we almost drafted. We were really considering him, but instead we went with Terrence Clark. And considering we've won the past 7 NBA Finals, I'm not really complaining, especially with Clark as a key contributor, a key starter for us on all 7 of those championship teams. The Bulls also still have Wendell Carter, along with Lauri Markkanen, who I guess is hurt, yeah. They also have Jaylen Brown as well. And then next up is the Cleveland Cavaliers. They have RJ Barrett. I want to show you this man's scoring numbers. He is essentially Kevin Durant 2.0, if you will. Already 24,000 points. That is a rather large number. Doing it with the Knicks and the Cavs. They also have Mitchell Robinson, Jalen Duren, Andrew Wiggins, Darius Baisley. This is a pretty good young team. I'm surprised we've never faced off against these guys in the playoffs. Last but not least, the Boston Celtics. They are led by JT4, along with De'Aaron Fox, Vernon Carey. This is a pretty good team. I'm curious to see where the Celtics are going to be in 10 years with all of their assets. So that'll bring us back to the chill. That'll end the episode. That'll end the series. I hope you guys enjoyed. I guess let's actually take a look at the MVPs real quick of the entire series, and then all of the NBA champions. Year 1, it was the Clippers, then the Sixers, then back-to-back for the Grizzlies, and then we won our back-to-back championships. That is 7 in a row. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. And as always, have a good one. Peace out. Merry Christmas.